Nvidia e Intel fazendo aquela parada, né? Caralho. Intel na merda e o Trump meteu um deal com a Intel e agora a Nvidia, os caras estão tentando ressuscitar o azul. Mas anyway, hoje é o segundo dia. Bora fazer os squat agora.
Tô cheio de dor aqui, viado. Tô sentindo aqui. That you care about as a gamer, right? Like, how many FPS do I get in this game? Or how many Cinebench points do I get? Or how fast can I calculate?
Isso aqui dá pra assistir mais de boa.
In the data center, the actual raw performance of your CPU cores
como fazer o squat.
Far less impactful in many cases than the speed of the interconnects and how quickly you can get access to other resources within the rack or within the data center.
Como é que faz o squat?
Is kind of flippin' goated.
Yeah.
This is pretty cool. Okay. Client CPUs will be x86 SoCs with NVIDIA RTX GPU chiplets. Do you guys remember? Luke, do you remember that Intel NUC that had an oh my god. Do you remember that Intel NUC? So remember when Intel made those little micro PCs? That Intel NUC that had an Intel CPU and an AMD GPU on the same package?
Oh yeah.
That
was sick.
Unholy Satan spawn of an SoC? It was pretty cool. And that was at a time that AMD's GPU technology was really not keeping up. Intel CPU plus NVIDIA GPU on a single chip? The word chip has a lot of room for interpretation here. On a single package?
Package, yeah.
Woo! Woo!
Java Juice pointed this out, but handhelds, that could be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, to be clear, ARC, pretty good.
Yes.
Is NVIDIA's GPU tech a little better? Yeah. Dude, if I could have, oh man, like Intel's last gen mobile chips are actually super efficient. It's just like, it's hard to care about them right now when their desktops are so far behind, and you know they're losing their lead in server market share for the first time ever, and like there's all this like terrible news coming out of Intel, but their last gen notebook chips are actually like pretty damn decent. And so if we could take that performance and efficiency, throw like a latest gen NVIDIA GPU on it, like, man, you look at Switch 2. Look at how flippin' efficient that thing is, how skinny it is, how little cooling it needs. And yeah, there are definitely issues with it. I wish it had the same battery life as the Switch OLED, for instance, but it doesn't. And for what it is, like, man, is it ever a pretty cool little device?
Yeah.
That's based on old GPUs. Whereas, like, because that's Nintendo's way. It's like, I don't know, give us whatever you were throwing away anyway. You know? Come on, Nintendo. But if you were an Asus or an MSI or something like that, for instance, and you were building a new PC handheld with, I don't know, the new Windows interface that's supposed to be debuting on the upcoming Xbox Ally X ROG, whatever the thing is called. We've got it. We're going to be playing around with it later on the show. Like, with the latest gen tech, dude.
Tenho que descansar ou posso fazer outro exercício enquanto eu espero isso? Não entendi esse descanso. Posso fazer outro exercício ou tenho que descansar, verdade?
Weeks past the U.S. government making an $8.9 billion investment in
agora tem que fazer crunch.
a 10% stake.
Crunch.
And this blows my mind. Intel is now 15% owned by two entities, the U.S. government and NVIDIA.
The last two I would have thought. It's wild, man.
In a joint webcast, NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang claimed that their deal has nothing to do with the U.S. government. I wouldn't blame him for distancing himself a little bit from some of the controversy around that particular transaction. And AP News reported that the 23% stock growth represents Intel's largest one-day gain since, and this is not a typo, 1987.
Yeah. Anyone like extreme long holding Intel is maybe pretty stoked right now.
Yeah, stoked that maybe one day they could get back what they paid. Will this deal involve manufacturing chips in the U.S.? That's unclear. Both CEOs wouldn't say anything concrete regarding this. a thunk.
Faz a porra do Halo Cruch, eu não entendo essa bosta, eu
I
nunca
wonder if this
entendi.
is related to that thing I'm gonna
Eu
go
tenho que
to.
levantar isso aqui, tenho que levantar isso aqui com a
I don't
força.
even know what thing you're going to do.
Não dá, meu bagulho bate em si próprio.
You're so vague posty
Não tem
right now.
I
espaço
told you though. Do you remember?
físico.
Can you rack
Eu não
that?
consigo levantar minhas pernas, mas a mobilidade vai
It
fazer.
doesn't matter because I can't say it. So. Anyways,
Anyway, interestingly, recent reports have suggested that NVIDIA could release an ARM-based APU-powered laptop within the next couple of quarters. Actually, a recent report suggested that NVIDIA was supposed to release that like ages ago, but that's a whole separate conversation. And The Verge's Sean Hollister put it aptly. NVIDIA and Intel basically said they're going to eat AMD's lunch, and that is in reference to Jensen on the joint call saying there is an entire segment of the market where the CPU and GPU are integrated, and it's for form factor reasons, or cost reasons, or battery life reasons, all kinds of reasons, and that segment has been largely unaddressed by NVIDIA today. APUs, anyone? Oh boy. Intel told PC World the deal won't affect its roadmap and specifically said they will continue to have GPU product offerings, which unfortunately does not specifically confirm that ARC, notably discrete ARC, which I am really rooting for, will continue to be that GPU offering. Reuters reports that some analysts have suggested this may be the first step in an Intel takeover or breakup. I actually am not sure that I agree with that. If anything,
I don't think so.
the U.S. government and NVIDIA are both stepping in to prevent that.
I think so.
Is my read on this.
This is not the same thing, but it feels like tangentially related to when Microsoft
Tá
invested
subindo
in
a
that.
porra do balcão, não tá subindo não, né?
I think the tech industry wants Intel to stick around.
The tech industry is healthier when Intel is healthy. There is
Yes.
no question of that whatsoever.
And if Nvidia can find a way to help keep them around in a way that
Vou fazer isso aqui com
themselves,
200 quilos, né?
it makes a lot of sense for them to do that.
Yep.
So
Daí
this
consegui,
honestly,
velho.
when I read this was like one of the things in the tech industry that made the most sense to me in a long time. So, yeah, I think it's cool. I really, really hope that ARC continues to exist. I don't think that's going to be a problem here, personally, but I hope it exists.
Should we make this into a weekly segment called "Is ARC in stock at MSRP and should you buy one?"
I like that.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
Look at this.
Because, dude, even using them for lossless frame gen and stuff like that, like they are really cool.
Here it is. Sorted by featured. You know what? Let's sort by lowest price. Intel Arc B580. Tremendous GPU. Great GPU. Now in stock. You could get an Intel reference card for $249.99 with free shipping in the United States. You could get an Onyx Odyssey for $249.99, also free shipping in the United States. If you're partial to ASRock and you want an open box Steel Legend, you could get that for $259 with free shipping in the United States. Oh, this one is only showing gray here because I actually have it in my cart. Here's the exact same card, not open box, for the same price with but you have to pay for shipping. Okay, all right, well, whatever. Onyx Lumi
Acho que é
is
assim, né?
$269. Okay, now we're getting past. Oh, here's a 3-fan version for $269. That's pretty good. That's pretty. Sorry. This is the triple fan and the dual fan. So you can
Eu
get
não
the
vi.
triple fan for $259 open box with free
Não contei
shipping.
quando eu fiz aqui, você tá no
$269.
12 normal, né? Das...
Not open box with free shipping. I just want to check and see
hack.
if they still have their.
E o último, vou até a
If they still
falha.
have that cool Intel
Okay.
Days game promotion going right now because they were actually giving away the new Battlefield with these. I don't see
Se
it,
levantar o negócio,
unfortunately, but
colo
hey,
na
it's
reta.
still a great deal. It's a great GPU at a fair price, and it's at MSRP. So if you or anyone you know is looking for a GPU right now, you've got $250 to spend. The Arc B580 can be yours, and it will not only give you a very satisfactory gaming experience in all but some
Tá estourando meu
very
joelho.
isolated edge cases where they've only been doing this a few years, but
12.
it will also hopefully help us make sure that, oh my god, we have another option for GPUs.
Tenho que fazer exercício. E
Someone says look at the one in your cart. Oh yeah. Okay, that would have been a way for me to check the promotion. And no, it looks like unfortunately the Battlefield promotion is no longer here.
What was it called?
It was called Intel Days or something like that.
O povo disse que não presta fazer abdominal, mas o crunch eu não consigo fazer, não tem essa
Check
desgraça.
this out. Check this out. 70 plus people have this card in their cart right now. There is no way that is not because of WAN Show right now. That is hilarious. Hold on. Oh wait, no, hold on. There.
Intel Gamer Days 2025 Battlefield 6 bundle.
Giving myself full credit here for that. Single-handedly selling more ARC B580s than anyone else on the internet. I'm quite sure of it.
It was called the thing that I just said, Intel Gamer Days 2025 Battlefield 6 bundle. It went from August 25th to September 14th, so it's done.
Yeah, bummer. Still, dude.
That was a wicked bundle.
Dude, the top one? This is crazy.
What the heck?
Oh man, this is fun. This is fun. Let's play how many GPUs can we sell on WAN Show today? To be clear, Newegg is not the only place that you could buy an ARC. I have no particular loyalty to Newegg. The reference card, dude?
Wow. I wonder what's up with that. That's interesting.
Okay, I do want to know though. I want to know. I'm gonna ping. Oh man, I should have used our affiliate code. I think we have an affiliate
Ó,
code.
sempre tem bagulho, tô ficando fraco.
The point is, I'm gonna message Colton. I'm gonna ask him to message our Newegg contact.
Posso fazer um exercício enquanto eu descanso ou como é esse rolê?
Crap ton of arcs today. That's hilarious.
Well, and whenever we talked about Gamer Days, that would also be interesting.
Okay, yeah, I'll find out. I'm curious. Anywho, why don't we move on to? Oh yeah, is there anything else you wanted to talk about with respect to the Nvidia Intel investment? I think this is.
Recomendo descansar.
You're always a fan of
mas
making
efetivo.
bold predictions and then being 100%
Pra
right
recuperar
about
o
them later.
músculo
So feel free to keep your streak alive.
Crescimento.
I'm
Mas
hopeful
ficar
for
mais
this
intensidade.
in regards to
Intensidade.
keeping companies alive in order to keep competition strong. I don't necessarily, I'm not saying either company involved here is necessarily my favorite ever. But
Bold words, decisive words.
But it's already an incredibly small space for CPUs and GPUs, and to have one leave who is doing both would leave us with effectively one CPU and realistically one GPU, which is not a good pool of companies. So we need Intel to survive, and this gives me some solid hope that there's actual possibility there. Because it doesn't seem like they want to, keep a CEO around long enough to actually follow through on their vision. So, like, if they need shorter term things, maybe this is it. I don't know.
Oh,
There you go. Perfect. Good.
Nice.
I can't do it from here, so thank you.
Acabou as falas da Nvidia, não falou nenhuma notícia nova que eu não sabia. Bora ouvir sobre o Windows 10 agora.
Away from the Windows 10 end of life for features and updates and security updates. So today we're going to talk about what that means. We're going to talk about some of the course of action you might want to consider if you're still running Windows 10, and kind of some potential small workarounds. But it's the last time we had this kind of discussion actually was when Windows 8.1 was end of life because Windows 10 moved in. It's just kind of a funny story though, because Windows 10 was actually marketed and advertised as the last version of Windows. But obviously we have 11, so that was a lie. Introducing the XTM3 from Fantex, micro ATX chassis built for power and performance. Compact yet packed with potential, the XTM3 features support for rear connect motherboards, dedicated radiator space at the top, and triple fan locations at the bottom to help keep your GPU cool. Clean design, the XTM3 is ready to take on almost any gaming PC configuration and cooling challenge. Check out the link in the description for more details. So to kind of build upon what I meant about the whole last version of Windows, Microsoft had officially announced, like back in the day, that Windows 10 would be the last version of its traditional operating system, and the decision reflects a shift towards continuous updates and models. Windows will evolve over time rather than have these major updates. If you go back to 2015 or so when Windows 10 first came out, that was what scared a lot of people into thinking that there was going to be subscription-based operating system. Like Windows is going away, but now it's going to be a subscription-based OS that's continuously evolving. Clearly, that model hasn't gone fully into effect yet. I have no doubt Microsoft probably still working towards that, but it's just sort of funny that they kind of abandoned those plans and they came out with 11 being a full version of Windows and a EULA-based model and all that, which is an end-user license agreement. But I digress. Let's go ahead and talk about what this means for you. So first of all, Windows 10 did launch back in 2015. If it doesn't seem like it's been a decade, it has, and that's what's crazy. And I remember when Windows 10 came out, I was still on Windows 8.1. I was a very reluctant updater. I was happy with 8.1, and then we ended up moving to 10. We kind of had to move to 10 for various features and stuff. And then Windows 11 was a way that a lot of folks were kind of really pushed into having to update because of the fact that when it came to the scheduler with asynchronous CPUs, right, E-core, P-core stuff for Intel, the scheduler was kind of hidden behind the Windows 10 or Windows 11 scheduler and design. So you kind of were forced to upgrade to Windows 11 in 2021 when it came out. For that, same thing with Ryzen and the power profiles and the full support for the chiplet design was again stuck behind the Windows 11 paywall. But anyway, I digress. The official support for Windows 10 ends October 14th, 2025. Hey, one day before my wedding anniversary. Anyway, what does end of life mean? It doesn't mean your Windows 10 is going to stop working. I have seen a lot of people sort of doom and gloom, like, oh my God, your Windows 10 is no longer going to work. No, it just means that you're not getting any more updates or bug fixes, feature updates. But the most important part is you're not getting any more technical support for it, and you're not getting any more security updates for it. Now, security updates is the kind of thing that a lot of people back in the day would have been like, so what? It doesn't matter. I'm not a high profile. I'm not really a target. But everyone's a target these days when it comes to malware, when it comes to
12.
heck, Bitdefender type stuff. When it comes down to
Continua até.
bootloader
Tá ruim.
level viruses that will, ransomware, that sort of stuff. Everyone is at risk for that, especially if you start going to nefarious sites or anywhere where there's file sharing or peer-to-peer. You are even more exposed for that sort of stuff. So that's why the security updates is kind of a big deal. So it really does expose you to more exploits once the end of life happens, which is officially October 14th, which is less than a month from now. But here's what the end user license agreement says. And I bring this up because nobody ever reads it. The same thing for games. You want to play your game, you load it up for the first time, you're like, yeah, scroll, accept, go, go, go. It's kind of like the whole idea, you don't own the game. You don't own the game. There's so much discussion, and rightfully so, discussion around the whole idea of license agreements, because you don't own Windows just because you paid for it. You paid for the right to have a license and access to it. But you don't own the code, you don't own the program. The same thing is true with games and stuff today, which is why when game servers go down, people get all up in a roar like, I bought the game. You didn't. You bought the license to play the game as long as it exists and is available to you. And I only bring that up because I worked in the software development environment from 2006 to 2015. And trust me, nobody ever reads the EULAs. But there are some funny memes that came out of that. The whole if buying a game isn't ownership, then pirating it isn't theft. But now we're talking about an ethics line that we're walking down. But anyway, I'm going to pull this back. That's a whole different discussion here. The Microsoft EULA typically states that it's not obligated to provide support or updates beyond its defined life cycle. And the only problem there is they don't define the life cycle up front. So you don't know necessarily if you're like, oh, I'm only going to get a year of use out of this because it's 9 years into its 10-year life cycle. I don't think Microsoft even knows necessarily how long the life cycle is going to be. But the point is, neither do you. It's never really explicitly stated. The users accept that the OS may eventually stop receiving updates and that continued use is at their own risk. But again, it's not defined. The dates aren't defined. I'm sure Windows 10 users right now are being bombarded, like legitimate installs. I'm not talking about cracked versions or script-activated versions. I'm talking about you bought the key, it's tied to your Microsoft account, it's a full-fledged version, proper, legitimate version of Windows. I bet you they're being bombarded right now. Update to 11, update to 11, update to 11, end of life, end of life. So kind of like Windows 8 saw when 8.1 came out, And then what 8.1 saw when 10 came out, and the same thing when 11 came out. Remember, 11 was even free. 11 was free for like the first year because they wanted people to update to 11 because 11 was much better at stealing your data. But anyway, example phrasing here is that Microsoft may cease providing security updates or support for the software after the end of support lifecycle. You are solely responsible for ensuring your system remains secure beyond that point. So, yeah, the language is there, but
Tá pegando os adutores da perna aqui, tá cansando a perna também, ó.
what those dates and stuff are. So you're kind of guessing at that point. Now, Windows 11 is the obvious successor. Windows 11 came out in October of 2021, and it's obviously heavily marketed around modern security and user experience refresh and better data stealing. Anyway, it's a thing in my throat there. Now, here's the upgrade challenges for you if you're on Windows 10 and you've been running this since as far back as 2015. Let's say you were an early adopter. Windows 11 officially requires TPM or Trusted Platform Module 2.0 and Secure Boot enabled in a UEFI. Now, if you're running hardware from back in 2015, it's very unlikely that it's going to go out of the box at least
20 minutos, né? Que não perdi muito tempo fazer essa bosta, né?
within your system to be able to just install Windows 11. In fact, you probably tell
Mas é isso aí.
hey, I want to install Windows 11.
Amanhã é dia de descanso, né? Mas depois de amanhã tem mais. Só os punch-up. Bora lá ver se o pai ressuscita.